Welcome to the Hustle Factory podcast show.
All we do is hustle.
And here's your host, John Lindemus.
He's kind of a big deal.
Bringing you amazing insights and views of entrepreneurship on today's society.
Ladies and gentlemen, episode 9 is live right now, and it is happening now, and it is going to be fucking awesome. Today's episode, I will be focusing on failing. If you recall on the previous episode, which is episode 8, I have discussed my very own perspectives of winning on the society that we live on today. So today, I will now go right ahead and talk about my own perspective of failing on the society that we are living in today. In addition, I will be also adding as well some of the top 7 reasons why we actually fail in life as an individual. And keep in mind that this reasons also applies to entrepreneurship and especially in life itself. So tune in to this section of this episode because you're gonna be so fucking surprised and shocked as hell, or maybe not, or maybe so. We will see. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this episode then. If you're an entrepreneur or any business owner, or even perhaps an independent artist who is just getting started in the music industry, then you probably already seen or heard a successful person will actually honestly admit that failure happens, and guess what? We all have to fair share from it. And you may not actually realize it, but the perspective of failing actually got into our heads a lot lately. Like, seriously, a shitload of a lot lately. Just like on winning, it is becoming a central core of society. On the other hand, the perspective of failing is actually getting to the point that it is also now becoming a central core to an individual's lifestyle. And strange it may seem, but that is actually the ugly truth behind the mindsets of individuals in today's society that we are living in now. And before we head on to the next point of this episode, I would like to go ahead and take the opportunity for me to share one of my favorite quotes about failure by Thomas Edison. And check this out. Quoted by Thomas Edison. I have not failed. I've failed 10,000 ways that won't work. So that is a quote by Thomas Edison. So what do you guys think about it? What do you guys think about his quote? Does it make sense? If it does it make sense or make sense at all? So why don't you guys go ahead and leave your thoughts on the comments below and tell me what do you guys think about that quote and what are your thoughts about it? Did it inspire you somehow? I know it definitely inspired the fuck out of me. It truly inspires me every day. Every time I hear that quote or every time I see it somewhere from social media and so on, it really inspires me so much to get on to the next level of life, you know. Now, know this, ladies and gentlemen, and trust me on this one. I can almost 100% guarantee that everyone in this planet wants to fucking win all the damn time. On the flip side, almost everyone hates to fucking lose or fail at all. Who wants to lose anyways, you know? So that means the majority of us hates it. The point being is you might be actually surprised that failing can actually benefit you. And I would love to go ahead and prove that it is actually a good thing to all of us. So here are the 6 benefits of failing, or failure in short. Number 1, it provides a reality check on where we at now. Number 2, the lessons we learn are fucking amazingly priceless. The third one is, this is not a one-shot only world. Number 4, it highly builds the strength of character. Number 5, it drives you or simply means failure can be means of your motivation or your why. So just remember the 6th benefit. That is very important. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the last benefit of failing. This is actually one of my favorite reasons of them all. So the final reason of failing is, those who have failed before made it the long run. Wow. I simply love the 6th reason because that 6th reason, those who have failed before made in the long run. That is 100% fucking true. So just hear me out for the next couple of minutes, guys. If you honestly believe that successful people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and even Mark Zuckerberg and the rest of the successful people out there who actually made it were lucky about it, or it was easily handed to them, then think again, ladies and gentlemen. If you actually fucking honestly believe to all of these crazy ass false claims about successful people, then you are absolutely out of your goddamn mind. I'm saying this because I have met different people during my journey as an entrepreneurship on 2015, and the journey is still going on, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said before, I have met different people in my lifetime with terrible mindsets about failing and winning as well. And this actually surprised the hell out of me, guys. I'm just so surprised that people these days have this messed up and terrible mentality about winning and failing. It doesn't really make sense to me, but the more the more I meet more people like that, the more it kind of starts to make sense to me, if you know what I mean. Anyways, enough with all these rants of mine. It's time for me to get on to the final point of this episode, which is I will now go right ahead and get on to the top 7 reasons people fail in life in general. And I promise you this, guys, it's going to be short and sweet, and you guys are going to love it as well. So here goes. Number 1, lack of persistence. Number 2, lack of conviction. Number 3, rationalization. Number 4, dismissal of past mistakes. Number 5, lack of discipline. Number 6, poor self-esteem. And lastly, and the seventh reason. And lastly, the 7th and final reason, ladies and gentlemen, and the last reason is going to be having a fatalistic attitude. So what do I mean by having a fatalistic attitude? So let's put it this way. The shortest way I can say is a person who has a fatalistic attitude is basically someone who's negative all the time. That's kind of what it is. But at the same time, if you want me to go a little bit go in depth with that, basically it's someone who just upsets failing as it's the end of it. Like I'll give you an example. For example, if you're in high school and you're playing a basketball team and you are really far away behind with the score, let's say it is 50 to 50 out of 100, and you guys are losing 50 points away from your opponents, right? And then out of nowhere, your teammates starts to get down, and especially your captain starts giving up, and they keep saying, there is no way we're going to catch up with them. It's the 4th quarter, and we are 50 points away from the game. So it just means that fatalistic attitude just means that they just give up easily. That's just what it is. Negativism. So that's what fatalistic attitude it is, guys. And I would love to go ahead and create another episode about this kind of mindset. I'll do that in the near future. But other than that, let's go ahead and get back on track on failing. And now that I got everything out of the way, let's get on to the favorite part of my podcast show. In today's episode, let me go ahead and give a warm welcome, or should I say, presenting the featured independent artist is Scartech. Now, if you're into some fucking awesome beats, EDMs, and especially some original acapella remixes, then you might want to stick around and check out the song that I will be featuring on this episode. So without further ado, here's one of his tracks on SoundCloud titled Whenever, and it is a Scartech remix. This is his own remix. And let me tell you, this remix is fucking dope. So keep up the awesome work, Scartech. Fucking awesome, man. Keep up the good work. So you just listened to one of his songs on SoundCloud, and if you want to check the full song of this track, then make sure to check him out on SoundCloud as well to listen to the rest of his tracks. And I promise you guys, it's not gonna be a waste of a time, because, and trust me, he got some really nice beats and some nice tracks as well. So I highly suggest you guys check him out ASAP on SoundCloud. And his name again is Scartech. That is SKARTEK. And like I said, I'll go ahead and leave the link to his SoundCloud profile page as well on a Twitter page, and also as well on my SoundCloud as well. And you can also check him out on Twitter as well. He's on Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat as well. But like I said, I'll go ahead and leave more information about that on my Twitter post and so on. And we are pretty much almost done with this episode. And let me go right ahead and start wrapping up this episode by quoting out on one of my all-time favorite quotes about failing by one of the greatest network marketing pros, and his name is Les Brown. So if you're into network marketing or affiliated affiliated marketing, then the name Les Brown should be familiar to you. So listen to his quote. When life knocks you down, try and land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Les Brown. So I hope you enjoyed that quote and that I just shared, and hopefully it inspires you to keep moving on and keep hustling and keep grinding, and especially keep aiming to achieve your goals and dreams, and especially keep aiming for your happiness and so on. The point is, never give up, ladies and gentlemen. And that's pretty much the wrap of the episode. We just reached in another great episode of this podcast show. If this is your first time listening to my podcast show, make sure to subscribe to this podcast on SoundCloud at the Hustle Factory Podcast Show. Also, make sure to follow the podcast show social media platforms on Twitter and Facebook page as well. Not to worry, I'll be adding more social media platforms in the near future. You guys can actually can go and tweet at me or send me a message on Twitter or Facebook on what other social media platforms I should add it. But I'm really thinking either Instagram or Snapchat. But hey, we'll see. And also check out our podcast website as well for any updates and so on at johnlimdimas.com/Hustle Factory Podcast Show. Lastly, don't forget that the Hustle Factory Podcast is now also available to stream and listen to iTunes and also on Google Podcasts, which is why this is a good thing. And make sure as soon as you guys finish watching this episode, make sure you go and leave some feedback or a review on either SoundCloud or iTunes, but I prefer iTunes so that, my channel is going to grow and so on and so forth. And to finish it up, I just want to go ahead and thank everyone for listening and subscribing to my podcast show. I really appreciate for all the support that you guys been giving me. Last episode was fucking amazing. We were almost this close having 100 views. I think it had like 75 plays now. Like a week ago, that is good. And I know that time is a valuable asset, and I highly value this. And other than that, make sure to tune into the next episode. But I'm not sure yet which one I'm going to be covering for the next one. But I will go ahead and let you guys know on Twitter and Facebook. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next episode. There you guys.